WooTube. My name's Baran Woo, and how are you all doing today? One bit of news straight off: new microphone. I hope my voice sounds silky smooth. Hey Aksu, how you doing? Yeah, I have now officially become a streamer. I don't know exactly what that means for this thing, but I have put money into streaming, and thus, yeah, either my life goes up or down from here. I'm not quite sure which way. Let me know if this goes. Yeah, big leagues. I'm with the big boys. I've got nearly as many followers as Andre. Okay, you take a couple of zeros off or something, but maybe 3 zeros. But we're basically there, really. I just have to keep this up until I get some scoops, and then sell high. Cool. So I'll move my face over. Oh no, that's not my face. Look at that. That's the whole page. There we go. Let's move this way a second. And we'll talk about what I want to play tonight. And yeah, this is a terrible idea. But I kind of did a very clickbaity title last week in How to Win. And so that gave me the idea for playing tonight, because I really want to play with Basilisk Synthgland. It's a card that I haven't really tested much since it came out, and it kind of looks pretty cool. But we're going to do it in startup, and this is kind of a deck which I have been playing around with, or what I want to maybe rejig a little bit tonight, or look into it. Came after two things. I was listening to Neon Static, which is the new Netrunner podcast. Very good listen, very interesting. Go and check it out. It's kind of particularly good if you're new or just starting out, or kind of just into startup. They kind of have they're all very new to the game, or they come back to the game. Some of them used to play and have come back. But I really like their style. They have cool little jingles in between their segments, and yeah, I've been quite enjoying listening to their stuff, really. And one of them said that they were playing against someone who was just trying to deep dive out of kit really, really early, and I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. That could be fun. Kit right now in startup needs very little in terms of sort of programs for breaking stuff, so yeah, we can definitely give that a go. And I think the other influence for this, I think it might have been Phil, 0F Maxima, who, as noted by Neon Static, is on one of the podcasts, Slumscast, or oh no, that's a really bad bit now, because my brain's gone a bit messy and has forgotten the name of the other one. Might even be his one. Yeah, great. Well, YouTubing is hard, this whole thing. Anyway, Phil also mentioned something. ShadowNet, yeah, that's it. That's in what I found at the time a hilarious bit, and then I've absolutely ruined the kind of joke here, because it was very funny when they said it's either ShadowNet or Slumscast, and obviously there's the beef between the two. It's not real, but it is funny. So maybe they're looking to start a freeway beef, and that would be hilarious. Anyway, this is the kind of deck. This is the deck which I came up with. So this is kit. We're basically only playing endurance and hyperbaric. Yeah, Axel, I feel pretty bad because I listen to all of their stuff, but like I think my brain just does something weird when I try to talk at times. But thank you for the thank you for bailing me out of this one. Um, so here we're going to play kit. We're going to break stuff with endurance and hyperbaric and basically nothing else. I do have one propeller because I think propeller is actually like the perfect thing here. I don't have a killer at the moment, and we'll talk about why that's a terrible idea in a second. And then our big thing is like we have 3 copies of synthgland, so we're either just getting like extra value of 5 click turns, preferably from like turn 1 or 2, or we're like landing deep dives. And my original draft of this deck had 3 copies of Katorka Breakout because I thought, we're just like we can just deep dive like loads, and then I forgot that means I can't play no free lunch. And pinhole threading, and obviously Drago is still a thing, and all of that kind of stuff. So I put in some no free lunches, and then after playing like 1 game against an MBN deck, I realised that a single copy of Hush is actually really, really useful in this particular deck because we can't kind of go through tool booths and be left with a tag, and then we have to use our no free lunches to clear. Like it's a bit tricky. So we're playing a Hush. I had some influence spare, and I'm already at 46 cards. So I've got a fermenter because it's really, really good econ, and then we've basically just got a ton of events, which are sort of money and draw, and not really much else. There's like a few cards which we could consider cutting, but I like having some things where we can get value out of Into the Depths. So we're playing like a Parisia, and we're playing a Propeller. And the Fermenter and Hush are also like pretty good Into the Depths targets sorry, I'll fold on that one. If there's more than 1 piece of ice. Obviously the charge can be pretty good. And the rest of this, the big question mark here is the rigging ups, because the rigging ups are great if we find them to put out our hyperbaric and our endurance, and then are awful after that. Like they literally gain us nothing. Maybe we can put out a propeller with an extra counter. But they're so good when they line up. But I just don't know whether I should be cutting them or not. But we shall see. But let's talk about why this deck is terrible. And that is the startup meta right now. So essentially, the decks which you're most likely to come up against in startup are yellow decks, which are trying to kill you, either like Drago style, probably with an end of the line. In which case they can do 4 meat damage, or maybe like the NEH versions, which are running copies of Reaper function as well, which can maybe pop off 2 of those to do 4 net damage. You're against Fule decks, where you can take 2 brain damage if you want. Hey Jai, how you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, pretty terrible card to play against Fule, but we've kind of got to because it's attached to our win con. Also, Deep Dive is not great against Fule anyway. And then we might be playing against Wayland decks, which are probably trying to kill us with end of the line. Or we're playing against PE. Now, none of those decks are good if you take 2 brain damage. Absolutely none of them. And at the moment, we're not playing. I've decided that I'm just not going to play the tech card. I'm not going to play the gain hand size. We're just going to try and rock this out and hope that it works. Jai, even if you're just checking in for a second, it's always good to catch you around. I was going to say it's probably pretty late over where you are. But yeah, we're going to try and play this as it is. with like no tech against all the things which could kill us. Because Shaper's kind of strong right now, right? So let's just play some. Let's make it easier for people to just utterly destroy us, like for fun. Okay, I'm gonna try and make sure that I actually load up the correct thing. Oh, we got a game straight away. Probably move my face back a little bit. We'll go back over here, I think. Oh, we had a game, we lost a game. Yeah, right. Peace out, Joe. Yeah, startup is the last place that we can play Shaper as the stronghold right now. I mean, the one thing I will say about Boat, and I'm not going to defend the fact that it should be banned in startup and all of that. That's a whole different discussion. But it does make kit playable. It makes like if you could only play kit, then Boat's probably fine, right? If Boat was like, I don't know, if Boat was like cost 8 if you're kit, but cost 16 if you're anyone else, then it's probably all right, right? Pretty balanced. Like, Standard Shaper feels kind of like the Smoke faction. It basically has been the Smoke faction for Yonks, right? Since Haley went, it's been like you're doing like APOC stuff, usually out of lat. Maybe you're doing weird like janky stuff, or you're playing Smoke. Okay, we're playing against Prav, which could be anything. It could be scary. We've got some draw. We've got Hyberic, but no real money. So I think we're gonna mulligan into a worse. I don't know if it is worse. It probably is worse. We've got lots of draw. We've got some very we've got our rigging up already, so that's great as long as we actually draw something we can put down with it. And classically, we don't. We do have a Parisia, which is actually pretty good in this matchup. I think we put the Parisia down. No, whoops. We put the Fermenter down. I thought I had another click there. So our kind of oh yeah, Lat with Rosette. Wow, it's funny how that was only last year, right? But that does feel like a long time ago. Like it feels like a long time ago that Roseki was banned. But yeah, the whole kind of control Shaper with like a gajillion money cards and a boat. That was definitely a thing. Right, they know that we've got a Parisia, which is a thing. Do I give them the value by running this? I kind of want to run to get my Dirty Laundry so I can Dirty Laundry, Sure Gamble. The rest of my turn's like ugly if I don't. Okay, I'm gonna give them one completely free. We'll see where they put it. Okay. Probably fine. We'll put down a stone chip because this will actually stop us like dying. Right, it's a Vig. That's fine. We can take that down next turn with Prisa. Actually starting the game then, coming into Shaper Control. Yeah. So actually you okay, we're not gonna go and get that Vig then. So you never played the sort of the Haley days. Ooh. Well, kind of want to keep the Patricia here. I also, like, we're putting this down this turn, no matter what. So it's, do I want to keep the no free lunch? Probably. The Patricia, kind of, or the propeller. If I'm expecting pings, I kind of need to keep this propeller. That, like, this is probably the card which makes me lose the least. I kept the, like, 2 cards that we wanted. That's great. I'm trying to kind of remember what the... I don't think I know what the meta was when I started, because when I started, what is going on here? When I started, I was a very not a good player. And so, like, I didn't really play anything even remotely competitive. I think Argus was big when I started. I just remember losing to Argus a lot. Oh, actually, and yeah, I could maybe I'll get into this in a second because the memories are flooding back now. Do I go and check this? Don't know. I think not yet. I think we're going to do a bit of setup. I'm going to put another one of those down. We'll do one of these. We could click this for 8. We're going to get any credit. Yeah, trap. Feels like a trap, don't it? Doesn't it? It looks like a trap. You see, I really enjoyed playing Haley when I first started, but it was in the time of currents, and there was a current called scarcity of resources, and that made all your resources more expensive. And if you played Haley, then you tended to put like very few events in your deck. Anything between, like, some Haleys didn't even play Sure Gambles. Like, you'd maybe play Stim Hacks, which were like an incredibly powerful overclock, and you use them to self-modify and code out your stuff. Okay, we do have Vlad Grid. I don't think I'm dead to anything here. But it essentially meant, oof, at least we can take this down. It essentially meant that you had a real hard time if you were Haley, because if they play scarcity of resources first turn and your entire engine is based around like getting an ASOPs and probably a professional contracts down, you had no chance. Do we check this ice? What's the worst that it can be? The worst it can be is a whatchamacallit, a tag and 2 net damage and other stuff. So maybe I'd go and get rid of this Vlad Grid first with the overclock, and then I check this. And if they advance it, then I've got a better idea of what it is as well. We'll use these 4. We could draw once in case we like draw into a hyperbaric. Let's draw once. I don't want to dirty laundry it. That is being a bit too risky. We can get through like a ping and stuff here, which is pretty good. If it's anything, yeah. Unsmiling is like the worst that this could be. So this is going to fire. Luckily, we have, well, more than a spare click. No, we have like, yeah, we're fine here. We'll trash this. Now, the question is, do we no free lunch to get rid of a tag, or do we hold on to those no free lunches? We've lost one of our deep dives. I kind of don't want to pop this fermenter yet. I don't think they can punish us. They can't get to public trail, so I'm going to draw. We have a deep dive potentially for next turn. So then I should pop this fermenter now. Because next turn I want to run all three while they're on like nothing. So we're going to pop and clear. And then I think I can land a deep dive next turn. Like the worst thing they can res on me is either a ping or a wrap around. Both of which I can get through with this propeller. We'll probably find out what the trap is this turn because we're going to make an archives run. They also, importantly, on 3 credits, which means I can't fire snare. And this is another thing that this deck is really bad against, snare. Because you often don't have that many cards in hand. Let's check out HQ first. Rip an off-world. Just because we're good. I think we trash this Vig. We might as well. We can use these two. We'll find out what traps they are running. They're on Trick of Lights. It was a checklist. Throwing out 2 checklists in here. We see a bill. If I still had my Parisia, I think am I trashing a Spin Doctor here? It takes me pretty low in credits. I think I'm just going to steal a bill and then draw. I've got 8. Yeah. I mean, there's no worse feeling than it's more like it used to be the classic like notoriety play. You notoriety for the win, but you steal an agenda on like the last run of your notoriety. Happened to me on camera at Continentals or Worlds or something a few years back. And I still had to play the notoriety anyway because like rules, you know. I was told off by other people who said, no, don't show what all your cards are. And I was like, yeah, but it's good for the stream. Are we rigging up an endurance here? It puts me on so little credits. I think I am. And then I think we just click for 2. Doesn't feel great, but there we go. Okay, they're back on money, so they can res whatever this is, which is most probably a Messenchefto. Let's draw some. We'll draw again. Do we want a diesel here? We probably can. We've got at least 2 cards we can throw out. Oh, well, that's excellent. So this is why I love Hush. Because we know that this has got text on it. We can get rid of a boat and a Basler. Because it's been advanced. So whatever it is that it's going to do, it's not going to do it anymore. And if you're struggling against MBN decks in startup, just try adding a Hush or 2 to your deck. It like every single piece of ice in MBN. I think without I think there isn't one which doesn't have some additional text. Now, some of that is like you'd have to put a Hush on a Unsmiling Serevna before they res it. It's not necessarily going to happen. You can make some pretty like educated plays against like R plus, even putting hushes out on face down ice, and actually putting it on face down ice and forcing them to potentially res a ping when it doesn't give you a tag is hilariously good. We could search for our third deep dive here. We could go and check this, or we could just try and look for our hyperbaric. I haven't got a huge amount of money, so I think I want to find a tiny bit more first. Okay, well, that's a turn, isn't it? We found exactly what we wanted for our hyperbaric. I don't think we're in a rush to charge the endurance, so I think we're just gonna put down a stone ship, play a creative. I should have drawn once because, again, like snare is an issue. Forgot about that. Because next turn, I was going to say next turn we could deep dive, but we're missing the important card from hand to be able to do that. So probably not going to deep dive. But we're also not going to run much until... I'm going to wait until we're probably going to make like 3 runs on HQ in one go. Because like halfway through the deck, we've seen 3 agendas out of probably 9. They might be on like all 2-pointers because you can do that pretty well in Prav, because you can score your Project Beal as a 3-pointer. So maybe they're on 10 2-point agendas. Okay. So if we check that, at worst it's a check his Scion, which does 3 tags. No, at worst it's a... at worst it's going to do 4 net damage, I think. So we'd have to draw twice first. So we can pop a stone ship first, move our hush across, make a run. Kind of feels alright. Let's do that. This is good recovery if it is anything nasty. We'll do this. We'll run here. We still have 3 clicks. We can clear 3 tags. Should we need to. I mean, this is like an excellent bait. Like by advancing the card here, it really seems like they don't want us to get in, which is like kind of funny if this actually turns out to be a trap. But I also like respect that play if it turns out to be a trap. Okay, we've used our kit ability. Vig. I think we probably trash that. And then we've still got 3 clicks left, which is excellent. So we can go 1, 2, 3. Seem pretty good. We can always move the hush back to HQ. Turn before we're looking to go in there. But yeah, just this hush is gonna completely change this game for us. And it's a very good thing to pull with Into the Depths, because as I found out the other day, if you run a server with 3 bits of ice on it with an Into the Depths, and you have a program in your deck that you could theoretically pull, you have to pull it. Which can be really awkward when you're on like tight credits. Hush might be pretty undervalued. I've been a little bit ravey about Hush since it came out, and I think I agree that it is being undervalued. So I don't think I'm going to run this turn. I think I'm going to see if I can draw into a deep dive. The answer is no. Do we want to risk losing our boat by drawing once more, going gamble, telework, and then potentially throwing out a boat? Yeah, sure. We're probably better off throwing out a hyperbaric, right? Because we still have one more in the deck. We're playing free. Okay. So this is probably a gaslight for put 2 counters on card seamless launch. And I guess actually I don't really care if this is a crypto crash. I like, which it would normally be like, for one, I wouldn't want it to be, but we're absolutely fine for money. Oh, Trick of Light. Okay, that also makes sense. All right. Do we run this card here? That's a tricky one. I might just run HQ. If they advance this card, then we'll reconsider. Kind of don't think this is okay. So there's definitely agendas in there. So I think we're going to run HQ at least sort of 3 times. There's one. We can go again. That's probably as many times as we can safely go. We could go once more. It's just if we hit a snare, or if this happens to be a ping, then we maybe lose our no free lunch. But then this seems to be kind of... they do have retribution. It'd be crazy for them not to be on at least one Drago. Do we risk it? Yeah, we're going to go one more time because I don't think they can afford a snare. The punish here is... Actually, we know it's not a ping because they advanced it. Okay, we see a Vasilisa and then we can remove the tank. So they have some cards in hand, most of which I can't remember. There's definitely a Vasilisa, a Funhouse, a Predictive Planogram. Oof. Okay. Right, we're at like a fairly sketchy point. I wish I had found another deep dive by now. So we could go R&D, run this Spin Doctor, go R&D again, go HQ. We could make 5 runs. Is that better than... So we've got 1 deep dive in 8 cards. Maybe let's try to see if we can find it. We can't. Oh, we can. Sick. In fact, this is like almost even better. Yeah, incredible. Yeah, the problem was with like straight draw. I mean, nicely we can draw. Um, we draw into it off. Oh no, sorry, that was it coming back off the Katorga. Yeah, let's trash the gaslight just for fun. We'll check R&D. I don't think there's anything we have to be scared of. 2 credits. Okay, they're going to shuffle back in. That's nice because we can trash it. We'll go archives. We're going to see 8 out of 17. We can make one more run if we want to. Bosh. GG. So we didn't actually see any 2-1s, but that was what I was kind of scared of here. I'm guessing they're just on 2 pointers. But yeah, if they have a single 2-1, then we can lose next turn. Okay, so let's bring the deck back up and we can talk about what to do with it. Because so there's something. So that game, rigging ups, worked really well. We managed to get both an endurance and a hyperbaric down with rigging up. That's kind of perfect. But we did get a bit of time to breathe in that one. So it's whether these are worth it. I kind of want more stone ship chart rooms because actually just the ability to draw 2 clicklessly when you feel like you have a chance to deep dive is really good, and it also does protect us against other stuff. But it's then what do we actually drop? Maybe we drop a nuker. Like I quite like the nukers because 2 riggings is interesting because it's such a funny thing because like if you don't draw a rigging up, if you start drawing your endurances and your hyperbarics and you don't draw a rigging up, then it's really bad. But you get like these clunky old hands where you've drawn like 3 rigging ups and none of your things to install with it. So the other thing, earlier I was mentioning how bad this is into like most of how bad this is into most of the kind of corp decks we're going to find. The other thing that this deck is really bad into is ob, as in like trashy ob, because I'm not actually playing a killer, and if I'm playing a single killer, then at least I have a way to deal with the old Hafren combo, because they can either blank my endurance or they can blank my killer. I just don't really. I just don't really want to play a killer. Like it's unnecessary in almost every other matchup. Just getting cards that get credits is better. Yeah, maybe, but I think we might be at pretty much the max of cards that get credits is the issue. Like, yeah, so backup echelon like would be the thing, but like I think that's the only matchup I want it for. And I'm already at 46 cards. And I'm already not playing like the one card which helps us out in so many matchups, which is the +2 hand size, do 1 net damage, which would make it way less squeaky bum time, kind of, most of the time. Yeah, and I don't know what, like, we could add 1 extra telework, but I've actually found telework to be sometimes a bit too slow for this deck. Like you do need like setup money. Maybe a third telework is better than dirty laundry because we're actually quite scared to play dirty laundry early on. This is like, this is 2 credits per click 3 times. This is 3 credits for 1 click once, but gets us a run. Let's try once more. Like what we really want to do is like line up into one of the really bad matchups and then see how bad it really is. And by one of the really bad matchups, I mean most of the matchups. Name a good, with the exception of like PD, unless they're also running ontologicals. If you name a good startup corp right now, this is like Basilar synthgland is probably terrible against it. Okay, oddball jumping in. Yeah, so here we go. Like, Fule, what are we going to do? Are we not going to play our Basilar synthgland? No, we're going to play our Basilar synthgland because we've got 3 of them in our deck, and that is what our deck does. And we're just gonna make it happen. We're going to find the ontologicals first. That's the way. Let's keep. You think PD is rough into this? I think this has a good matchup versus PD, unless they're on ontologicals. But I think like if it's a bit more standard PE, so it's running. I don't actually know what is a PD suite look like nowadays. 3 Vitruvius, 3 Offworld, 1 Luminal, and probably some bifurcations, and then what you have 1 extra card. I don't know what that card has on it. Oh, that's a nice start. Yeah. Hey Diogene. Yeah, we're doing kit, not just kit. We're doing terrible metacal kit. So, well, I'm playing synthgland because I really want to test out synthgland. But without like adding in like loads of extra tech, it is terrible into so many of the matchups that we're going to come up against. Right, let's find some stuff. None of this is exactly what I'm looking for. First aid kit, very good. Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. I think we just stick down this propeller. Are they going to be on? Oh, they'll be on. They might be on. Whatever. Here is getting stand up without the boat and Basilar. Ship us a list, dear Jenny. I'm always interested to see what you've got brewing. Okay. So if this is a Gypstad grid, then we're already in like massive trouble because we can't necessarily take an extra 2 brain damage after taking 1 brain damage. Ooh. Can we get through both of these ice and have money left? Just. All right. I'll Are we going to try and go and get this? Is the big question. So we can overclock in. We have exactly 1. I think we have enough to like. Oh, this is hard. I don't think we're going to. I think. Because we're not going to be able to trash the grid if it is the grid. The bad thing about this play, probably don't do this, because if they give us a brain damage and they hit our overclock, that's like our only money in hand. Well, that's about the worst thing that could happen. That's fine. We're going to draw into a telework and a creative. Close enough. We're playing the synthgland now, right? Oh, we're gonna hit so many of these out of hand. This is like a really rough hand to hit synthgland into. I mean, I guess we can't lose all of them. We don't care about this. Bam, let's go. Okay, and that is why we can't play this card. Great, good stuff. Right, we need to like not die to a snare. We need to find the other ontologicals real fast. We see a magnet. I mean, luckily, if we find the other ontologicals, if we find both of them on this deep dive, we can just take the 2 brain. Yeah, it would be a Mr. Hendrick, I would imagine. This puts them on 0 credits, which is actually excellent. I know Oddball's been having, I think they've been having a lot of fun with Anvil in all sorts of things. It's really nasty in things like PE. Did they trigger it? Oddball trashes. Yes, they did. So that's fine. We can trash a stone chip, right? We don't need stone chips. Well, not right now. Annoyingly, no, maybe this is fine. Yes. Oh, we're so good at this game. Now the big question here is: do we risk losing the deep dive? I don't think we do. Can we die to what? Can we die to? I think we don't die to too much. Yeah, we can pay, but what I wanted to do was interesting. What's that? That's got to be a Hendrick, right? So I think we just go and trash it while they only have 2 credits. Hendrick is 2 or 3 credits to trash. Mr. Hendrick. Mr. Dot Hendrick. Mr. Dot Henrik. Ow. There we go. What was I doing wrong? Oh, no C. Got it. 2 credits to trash. So we can trash this, and they have to pay 2. I think we just go and do that straight away. I guess if we access a... Let's draw ones first. That's no good. Let's take money from here. Now we'll go into HQ. Card from hand. Oh, yes. Yes. Right, so now Basilar does not matter. We can pay? Do we need to pay? We'll be on like hand side. No, because we might actually die to core damage. So this is why I didn't time it to run on 1 click left, because there's always a chance that we steal an agenda. And we have the clicks to deal with it. And we'll just take a credit. And then I think maybe next turn we can deep dive for the win. And then we don't care about the... We're probably going to have to trash something to this anvil, but that could be either of these. Probably maybe the Nuka? depends on what happens here. I mean, I guess we could always trash the propeller as well. Like, maybe this is really unneeded. We got 7 on the endurance. We're probably not going to be allowed to break this, is my suspicion. Okay, archive memories. Band card. Only in startup, though. Interesting. Okay, we've only got 3 credits, so we're just going for it. We're going to go HQ. See a Ravana. We'll go R&D. Maybe we should have gone R&D first, so that there's like slightly more question as to whether they should fire the anvil or not. So they do fire it. Now, which of these draw options is better? I think I might keep the stone ship because it just protects us a little bit more as well. So we'll let Unbroken fire. They get a credit. Oh, they get a credit which takes them to 4 credits. It's fine. We're not going to hit a snare. Could trash that. We'll have to take a brain damage. Sorry, a core damage if we steal 1 agenda if we trash this. Right. 2 for the win. None. No, 1. Wow. Okay. I think we're safe to anything they can do to us because of Stone Chip. Ooh. That's slightly scary. No, it's not scary. It's just annoying because we can't really take it out. So now we just draw. I mean, we've got, unfortunately, 28 cards. We've lost our Katorga and both our deep dives. So really, we're just looking to draw to set up for the late game. Luckily, like all the ontologicals are out, so we're actually in a pretty decent place. We do need to find some money. That's some money. That's kind of money. I might just click 2 and play creative here. Because I kind of like the rest of the cards in our hand. I guess we could. I probably want the overclock to clear out this server. We're going to get maximum Basilar synthgland value there. Clicking for a credit with it. That's a really good point. Between I mean, Kago, who says Kago Lescab. I hope I pronounced that something right. Who says Nuka is worse, and Axu points out that Nuka is at best the same as Clicking Draw and Stone Chip, which is exactly correct. Okay. So we can draw here. We can draw. That's good in case they're on anything funky. We can probably go HQ. This is really interesting. Is this? You know what else I have a feeling that Oddball likes to play is, I think he likes to play Nana Civic Grid in non. Yeah, That does feel like a nanny on archives, doesn't it? Like, I don't know what else it would be. Oh, that's fine. Synthgland, no fear. %70 of the time, it works every time. Ooh, two ontologicals in hand. Yeah, so it's really important that we kept them low on credits. Um, thanks, you too. Yeah, so basically, the term where we went like, we're just going to take 2 brain damage all on our own, 2 core damage all on our own. They're just looking at a hand going, I'm just going to score these out. Yeah, well, there we go. So that's like technically a bad matchup. We did manage to win it. Yeah, I mean, kit does kit things. Boat does boat things. How bad is this if we take the boat out? Pretty much unplayable, unfortunately, this particular list, because you wanna go really fast, and so you normally install 1, sometimes 2, sometimes you like just one of these will do, just a hyperbaric. We haven't used kit much, to be fair, but I think the big thing is that it's partly about the deck building. Like, we can play this deck because we're in kit. We don't need to have like a full set of breakers which are efficient in the late game, and we don't need ways of finding those breakers because we have 6 cards which get through any 1 bit of ice, and as soon as we get one of those down, then we can start pressuring. And I think that's the sort of the difference. Whereas, like, true, we've been kind of playing boat more than hyperbaric, and I don't know if we've actually used a hyperbaric yet. But like, we just couldn't play this same deck, I don't think, in a different ID, unless maybe we could try it. So we could. Whoops, whoops. I'm on startup tonight. Sorry, Rotom. I did a classic, didn't I? I don't think I think, yeah, I say as standard. My bad. My bad. Like, the one thing we could do. Tao thinks he could. Not confident, but thinks. Yeah. Like, Tao maybe. But you still kind of, I don't know, you still need like some form of Tao with self-modifying code probably could. Like, just about. Your other thing, like, maybe would be to, like, I haven't played yet with the polar bear. Is it a polar bear? What is it? The AI, and potentially it's a doable Nanook. Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Mr. Pelly. So maybe like with a Nanook boat build, we could do it. It makes it really tricky, like on the deep dive. Like, it's technically a good deep diving card because you're like trying to land the 3 runs and then fire off your deep dives, and then it doesn't matter that you lose your Nanook afterwards, because hopefully you've like got 4 points out of the deal. But maybe we'd need to be on security testing or something. And actually, like, my original consideration for this deck was to be on various copies of security testing. partially so that I could put them on archives and get around basically all of the decks which play Nightmare Archives, which are all a bit of a problem when you're trying to deep dive, because you kind of have to run archives. But if they start putting stuff in archives face down, and then you kind of stick a security testing on it, then you're a little bit safer. Now, it's no good if they put a Civic grid on there, and actually that would be the reason for playing more pinhole threadings. At the moment, we're on 1 pinhole threading, so we really lose to Nana Civic grid archives right now. But I mean, we could cut the Katorga, I guess. We could change that to a pinhole threading and a fermenter. It's just like cards. Then we're already at 46. We're kind of feeling okay at 46. Nanak feels bad when dive hits agenda accidentally. Damn right. But that's why I think we play like, I don't know, maybe we try and... Okay, let's play this game, and then we're going to try and build a version with Nanak and see if it's theoretically possible. We're against Built to Last. Good luck, have fun. Having a no free lunch in the opening is really good. We've got both our breakers, but is this our only money? I think I'm going to high roll this. See, the problem is there's a chance that Built to Last goes really fast, but if it does, then these things deal with us. But it's just as likely that they're on like a supermodernism style list, in which case we want this no free lunch. But then we also need money. So I'm going to mulligan into a worse hand. We have a breaker. We have a way of getting other breakers. Probably should have kept it. We'll find out. Like, it would have been the kind of hand where we draw twice and it either becomes fantastic or we just stare at 7 cards in our hand going, oh no. Okay, well, at least we've got our bit of tech here. But let's just see if they go sort of super fast. First hand was above average. Maybe. Okay, they are just... Oh, that's a shame. But that's interesting. So they took out our telework and not our no free lunch with an above the law, which means that they are more interested in just money and they don't care so much about tags. That was a pity, though. I think we just go... We put these 2 down, and then next turn we're going to nuke it into just all of our breakers. Or more specifically, 1 hyperbaric, if that's all we need. And then we're going to charge it up using an overclock, running into this ice. Something like that, anyway. Right, 1 hyperbaric, please. 1 hyperbaric, please. Okay. Do we boat into this with no money? So it's either... Annoyingly, we don't have enough to dirty laundry. Otherwise, I'd be really comfortable with it. Okay, we could dirty laundry if we pop the no free lunch for the dirty laundry. That feels incredibly risky. We can't quite into the depths either. Without popping a no free lunch. Okay. So, how much value do we need here? We're going to run this last click. If it turns out to be anything that gives us tags. That's true. They didn't trash our no free lunch, so maybe they don't care about tags. because I think that's an easy, like, I'm going to trash with no free lunch at this point. So I think we're just going to try and get, like, value and speed, because I think they're just trying to go fast, fast, fast. So we're going to gain 3. We're going to whack down a boat, charging it, and then we're going to, I think we enter the depths in because it is technically more, it's technically the same amount of money, but at least, yeah, we're going to go in. At least if they res anything. The only things I really don't want them to res all cost a lot of money here. We'll do endurance. We'll gain 4. We'll trash a clearinghouse. Good to know. Okay. Right. The stone ship is going to be really important if they're on any kind of clearinghouse deals. So let's do this. Okay. Possibly a Mesnachesto. We could draw for our Hush. Or another Into the Depths. Okay. Right. I think we just set up here. Okay. It's fine. We might start poking. How much advanceable ice is in standard? So essentially it's Pharos and Ice Wall and Mesnachesto. And that is it. I think. Maybe I should have pressured this last time, because if it's either of the ones which are really bad, then it costs them a lot of money. Hortum is another one, yeah. Hortum's probably the least scary of them, I guess. Let's force them to spend some. We might deep dive for a single here. Well, there is said Hortum. We'll try. We'll break that. We see another Hortum. Vasilisa isn't advanceable. It puts advancements on ice. There is a chance that this is actually a free 2, and we should go and check it. And that they just drew into a hostile last turn. And I'll feel really bad if that's actually the case. Okay, so they're considering resing here, which means that I think this is a Pharos. It is not a Pharos. It is an Archer. Do we care about this propeller? Like, it's... I don't know if we do. I mean, getting through this Archer is going to be really hard. Because we have boat and that's it. So I think I'm just going to let them trash this. Because I feel like I'm going to have to let them trash it anyway. So now the question is, do we go and check server 1? Or do we continue this deep dive? They do want to tag us. Can they tag and kill us? No, I think they're a credit short. I guess, no, they can click for a credit, but I think we're fine. I think we steal the Atlas. It's like the easiest one for them to score. I guess we might lose our endurance here. That's actually a problem. They'd need to have exactly... Okay. So they're kind of sensibly icing up archives so that we can't make boat counters easily. So now this is actually going to start becoming very hard to deep dive. Could become impossible actually. They're iced up very well, and we haven't been able to kind of do too much about that yet. Okay, we can put down hyperbaric. Can't really go here. We could run... I really want to force them... I want to force them to res something here. But if I do that, I'm going to leave myself underneath public trail. So maybe I just won't show them. I'm not going to show them the hyperbaric yet. I think that this might be the other Horton. So we might either into the depths here. Okay. Could be a trap. Could be a clearinghouse. I think this is possibly a messenger chest though. I think we got to go for it. If it's the messenger chest though, I think it's fine. We might pop one of these. So we either draw or we pop one of these on the way in so that we don't die to like an Urtka cipher. So now I'm going to put one of these. Will definitely boost at least twice. I think I might keep the rest of the money in case it's a clearinghouse. Yeah. Might have left myself a little short here. So we could pop the fermenter. Scroll the log, sorry. Or we make a run back somewhere. We possibly into the depths R&D. We might still need more money after that. But if they res, then it can't really do too much. This gets us free credits and an endurance token back. Thinking. I need to have at least 8 credits here, because otherwise I'm going to lose one or other of, or both of these. Could dirty laundry back here. They didn't res it the first time. Yeah, into the depths server 1. I'm just wondering whether I can get extra value off it, but I don't think. I think I actually lose value by going here. So we either into the depth server 1 or we dirty laundry server 1. I kind of want to keep the into the depths because I potentially want to pull a hush with it. Okay, that's fine because they are also poor. Is there anything they can use to pop back up? Not to get enough to then... They'd need to get to 5, right? Because they need a public trail. They need a public trail and retribution. So I think I'm safe. Like, predictive gets them to 4. I think we're safe. Let's find out. So like now we might into the depths R&D so that I can put a hush here and gain the into the depths money, which feels pretty good. We're not going to die to... why do we use endurance? Because I didn't think I had any money. Technically did have enough money, I guess, to just break the end of run. That is true. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty fair. Right, we're going to go in here. We might have to click the fermenter afterwards. I'm going to draw once first. I still want to go in here before they can like afford to res too much more. Because I think finding our hush to deal with this mess Nechesfo is pretty relevant. We can get through here for 1 credit, which I think is going to be better. Okay, so now we're going to actually have to... I mean, here we're going to fully break. If we're not quick, we are just going to lose. We're going to lose to lockout. Like, just literally, we don't have ways of getting past maybe more than 3 pieces of ice. Can we afford? Yeah, we can just about afford to do this. This is fine. So let's... I think we need the money, and we're going to install a hush on here. Oh, I really want to trash that, but I think I'm going to let them put that in the server, and then we'll run that next turn. Okay, we found a no free lunch, which is like, that's ideal. So here, exactly predictive. Okay, it's like literally got to be predictive into public trail, into retribution. Would be bad. But that's quite specific. I guess maybe like, no, I was going to say install Oaktown, advanced Oaktown, but then they don't have enough clicks. Okay, they just take 3, that makes sense. We're probably going to run archives here, I think. We could get the Basilar down. If we put the Basilar down, we're going to lose... We're going to lose this deep dive, so maybe we don't do that yet. I'm going to put both of these down before we do anything. Because I don't want to lose. The no free lunch is like pretty key. That's absolutely fine. We can break that very easily. And then we'll just draw a card. I don't think I want to throw out a boat yet, so we're just going to draw. Okay, they have money again, which is a shame. Let's draw some. Oh, I forgot to click Nuka. That was a big mistake. Okay, we know that they have a regolith, which we're pretty sure they're going to put in the remote, or I'd be sure they'd put in a remote. I'm going to hold on to this pinhole just in case. Safety hyperbaric doesn't feel necessary. So it might be time to click this fermenter. I think it is. We have like all the money we need now, but now we're just at risk of getting locked out, and maybe we should have kept our propeller. We'll find out. This is interesting. Second remote. I might want to run HQ this turn. Costs like 3 credits. No, I have to boost the hyperbaric, but I think it's probably worth it. I don't think it can Axu, because this is, you can advance this ice is, I think, like additional text, which is like the thing that Hush blanks. Like I don't think they can advance this messenger chest vote more, for instance. I think we definitely check HQ at least once. We don't gain anything by. It's actually slightly more expensive than wanted it to be. See a public trail. Can't go again. We'll draw one. Hit me! Yes! What did we actually hit? We hit a boat and the other Basilar. Take a credit. Can we get through next turn? So here, this is one. We need 2 boat counters here, 2 boat counters here. So yes is the answer. So let's just see if they... free boat token, yes, but I also did want to poke HQ. Very interesting here. So there's a chance that we pinhole one of these on our way to deep diving. Where do you put the agenda in server 1, don't you? Probably. I think we just deep dive this turn. I think I'm safe to like most things that they can do. And I'm just really scared because as soon as they put like one more bit of ice here, then we're like in a lot of trouble. I might hit a pinhole threading through archives. I could do that first click. No, because I want to break this with hyperbaric. Okay, right. We know one card in HQ. We're going to probably hit the public trail again, but let's see. If we can rip an agenda here, then we're in pretty good shouts. Yeah, we hit the public trail. What a surprise. I guess double public trail. Right, we're going to pinhole thread here. We'll see if they want to like res any spin doctors. I guess we could die to like an installed snare. That would suck. I think 1 is more likely to be an agenda, so I'm going to go for 3. Okay, we see a clearinghouse. We'll get rid of that. We'll go R&D. We've seen public trail. Like, I haven't seen snares. I have seen. Okay, so this is influence. Public trail is influence. Um, it's whether I pop this stone chip now because I'm scared or not is like the big question. I think no. I think we're just not gonna die. Okay, we see a Stavka. That is fine, but slightly terrifying. And we're gonna deep dive and score at least 4 points, please. There's one. Okay, yeah, yeah. There's a slight chance that we take the hostile here. Like, I think we take the Atlas for sure. I'm kind of tempted to take the hostile. Because they can score it out very easily. And like as soon as they draw it into the hand, then they just score it. It gets them loads and loads of money. Now the time that's going to shoot us in the foot is if we access another hostile. Okay. What do you think? Should I have taken the hostile? It's like your brain says no, but like it is the harder one to deal with. I guess we could die to Reaper function. Again, maybe we should just pop this stone ship, but I think they've missed the window for it anyway. Do we have... We have one Katorga and one deep dive left. We can take a tag and clear a tag. They still have exactly enough money to retribution us. Always a chance of that's Drago. We have one boat left. Okay, that's fine as long as it's on the outside, because so Stavka we just need to boost this once. So let's draw. We've got a nuker out. Sure, nice one, James. I don't want to throw all these in the bin. I also want to force them to res this maybe this turn. So we can run it, we can then still telework afterwards. They'll have like 4 credits if they res. I think we can run here. Like there's nothing to be scared of. Right? And if we get in, then we just get a boat counter and... yeah, this is fine. Is it fine? Yeah, it's fine because they're poor. They're not that poor. So it's whether we jack out here, which would put us on 7 credits. We install and click this, or we click twice. 7 credits. Okay, I didn't quite do that maths, did I? So I guess we go through anyway because we can't stop it. Potentially incorrect. I maybe thought I had slightly more do I want to keep the priest here? I think I actually do. I'm going to keep one Hyperic in hand. I think I thought I had a bit more bad publicity than I had. 2 credits for a boat counter and access. Okay, no. It is okay unless we die trying to get them. We can take this down. And we will. Oh no, our hush has gone. I've only just realised. So they trashed. They trashed the ice with the hush on, which is actually like a really good play. As we only have one of them. And if it's turning off that ice, and then it can turn off other ice, like if they have Pheroses, then it's really good strategy. Okay, so this is becoming problematic. Has there been any talk about a new system update? I don't think so. I think there's unlikely to be talk about a new system update until do we get our hush back? Thinking. I think until next year. Like yeah. What do you think should be in the new system update? Because it's actually like it was kind of an interesting one when system update came out and everyone's like, why are you bringing back Magnet? And then everyone's like, everyone's playing free Magnet. So kind of interesting. So the question here is we could Katorga for our... There's a lot of really good Katorga targets here. We either Katorga and we get back our propeller, or we get back our hush to get through here. I think maybe we go and get our propeller just so that we can deal with, like, they clearly have ice walls. I'm not quite sure how we deal with a Pharos using a propeller, but maybe we'll work out that when we get to it. Where are you? There, we're putting that down. We'll hit that. And then I think we can deep dive next turn. We've got 5 boat counters. We can get through here first click. We can get through here with a propeller. And then this, we need boat for this one. This is fine. Okay, what money do we have left in our deck? Not very much. There's a dirty laundry in there somewhere. We've got one more no free lunch. We've got one more sure gamble. We've got one more creative. Actually, it's like it's quality money when we draw it. So I think whatever we draw, we can play. Maybe apart from that, we can play that next turn when we try to deep dive. We don't want to play that. That's good. So I think we just hit that, end the turn. We'll throw out this, and do we discard the boat or the hyperbaric? I guess the boat is, but we'll never be able to install the other boat. We do not have the money for it. Okay, next turn we deep dive. We don't hit a snare. Snare is not a card. It does not exist. Like, alternatively, we can pressure them to res these 2 pieces of ice, which face down, to like gain more boat counters. I mean, we can just get in there, right? What have they got here which would keep us out? Well, that's fine. And that's fine. There we are. GG. I think they probably just I mean, funnily enough, they were like quite close to locking us out. If they just put, yeah, actually, pretty close to being locked out at one point. Well played. Um, yeah, they'd like if they get a little bit more ice on centrals, we're actually in like a lot of trouble. 2 outs left. Yeah, possibly. Um, I mean, this is probably a lot of their ice. I think maybe creating this extra server like did not work out for them. Is Katorga worth the influence in the deck? Now that is a great question, because I am unsure. But I've basically played it in almost, yeah, Hortum on the inside is a shame. I've played it in almost every single game. And I mean, I've only played like 9 with this deck because, I think it has some serious issues. But um, I essentially figured like we're going to be knocking like cards out of our hand. And our sort of only real win con here is deep dive. So having like a 4th deep dive is really good, but it's also really good for getting back. We have a couple of very good tech cards, which we might need to sort of pull back. We might lose our breakers, and we might need to pull them back. Yeah, and even kind of because we're so frail to things like Drago end of the line decks and many other things. Like we really need to like maybe be able to get more of our tech cards for those matchups. Yeah, I don't want to play test run. Not it's like it's particularly bad with hyperbaric. It's like, well, it's great with Eula, but yeah, it's no good in this deck. I mean, a test run with like Hush, it's like not a bad thing. Test run with Propeller is actually really good because you get your counters back. But you're not really saving much money, because it's only one. But then I guess it's only one to reinstall, which is nice. So the big question is can we make this deck, but not in kit? So I guess we're gonna make it in. Are we gonna make it in Padma or do we make it in Tau? We might make it in Tau, but let's just see. I think we might need to be in Padma. So instead of playing Kit, we're going to play 3 copies of Nanook because I've not really played with this card, and we're going to see what happens. So we can kind of go 3 Nanook, 3 Endurance. That's our way in. I might play a single Propeller as well because for a 1 cost, I can get through your pings. Tau is a more fun ID. You are right. Okay, right. I kind of feel like that might be enough to find Tau. There we go. Admit if you want the tournament boring thing. There's nothing which describes me less usually. Okay, so this is a thing, right? We play 3 deep dive. We play. I'm actually worried about 40 cards here. We'll play 3 Basilar synthgland. We should definitely get it in our opening hand. We've got extra influence here. So basically, I want to consider playing like 3 cards, like which will spend. Well, okay, so let's put in no free lunches so that we don't just immediately die. We'll put in at least 1 copy of. Maybe we can go without Pinhole. Risky. Yeah, cutting to 40 is going to be tricky. So here's what we're going to spend our influence on. We're either going to spend it on security testings, because these are potentially allow us to deep dive with Nanook without losing our Nanooks. Or we're going to spend it on our old friend Katorgas. Or we're going to spend it on Imp. Again, so that we like have a way of dealing with agendas. And actually, what's quite nice is like if we run HQ, like maybe we into the depth safe HQ, we pull an imp, we find an agenda, we imp it, we put it into archives, we run R&D, and then we run archives and we pull up the agendas, and then it doesn't matter that we lose our doesn't matter that we lose our Nanook because we're about to hit them with a deep dive. Sec testing is also, good tech versus Nightmare Archives. Chameleon, good. I mean, there's an extra click for Chameleon, which is nice. It's just it's really bad with deep dive. We've got no way of like getting it out permanently. I'll tell you what, like maybe the kit deck plays a Chameleon instead of a propeller. Maybe. Maybe, but no, because then you can't install it on the deep dive turn. Maybe our influence looks a little bit like this. We'll see. We're already at 20 cards, so let's actually put some money in here and see where we get to. Creative. Let's put in diesels. Well, that didn't work. I've had this before. Has anyone else had this trying to put in like diesels? I think it worked when you put them in down here for some reason. We're gonna want to play stone ships, and we might play these over flux capacitor. Flux capacitor is an interesting one because it's like it's a very like engine-y type card. It has potential to do well, but then obviously like it kind of sucks if you're up against a magnet deck. As so many of the cool shaper programs do, it's like you want to play the one that gives you 2 credits, but like then you just come up against magnet and you're like, bleh. That's in standard, not in startup. Or you want to play an Eka, and then you come against magnet and it's like, bleh. Anyway, I haven't played much with flux capacitor. I was quite excited about it when it first came out, but it's like, that's like where it works best is when you've got like boat, poison vial, flux capacitor, Padma, and you're kind of using that as your pretty much your only breaker. And like potentially that's like a similar setup to like our kit one where we're just really leaning on the boat, but it's like the kind of thing which people are taking against that kind of very slim, like if you come up against an anvil, you're screwed with that kind of a deck because you normally don't have much that you can chuck away. Right. What other money and stuff do we need? We probably want to play at least a couple of Intervidets because we want to be able to find our imp. And then it's like dirty laundries. We're already like basically there. Am I missing a really important card? I know I'm missing pinhole threading. I'm making a decision not to play it. Nuka. I feel like with 40 cards, diesels, stone ships, might be alright. Maybe we'll play 1 Nuka as well. Telework contract is what we're missing. Okay, that's exactly 40 cards. Have I missed something really important here? That looks like a deck, right? Right. Quickly come up with some kind of intelligent name for it. Nope, can't. So we'll just go with um, what's on Nanook? It's like it's a polar bear, right? There we go. That'll do. Rigging up is missing. But is it as good here? Because we don't have like it's money, but we like it's not as good because we're not on hyperbaric. So it's like great for. I think we can leave rigging up out of this one. We're gonna play it like this: 40 cards, smash it and see. Runner, start up. Yeah, Nanook's 4, uh, but we don't get the like additional charge, and I know that's like not definitely needed. Fanatics would argue it's even more important. Interesting. The other thing is actually maybe we should be on more into the depths because what we might need to do is like put the Nanook on our first run. Because if we install a Nanook the turn before, like this is what's going to happen. We're going to get the sad case of like install a Nanook the turn before and then they score out a 2-1 and oh dear. If you only get free credit out of hyperbaric, why would you not just play better econ cards? Well, the question is, what econ cards are left to play in this deck? Outside of rigging up, like we could play one more telework. I think all the other cards which give us the best amount of money for the least amount of clicks are already in here. Oh, in the Tau deck. Yeah, I think here we're not going to play the ringing up because I think, like you say, at best it's going to give us free credits, and like it's also going to clog up our hand. Like I don't really want to drop any of the other econ that we've got in here to play a Nanook. Fun times here being like I'm interested to see how it, because security testing actually like a pretty good card in Tau anyway, because you kind of want to force them to spread their ice out a little bit. Is Nanook and Deep Dive and Tau a bit of a nombo? Is like a bit of a question. We'll find out. Right, completely untested. We're against Ob. We are probably okay against like rig shootery stuff. This is fairly mediocre hand. I think I'm going to mulligan. I want a little bit more draw. That is a worse hand. Yeah, actually, that's interesting. So we're playing Nanook in Tau, and none of our breakers apart from Propeller care about the ice type, which is unusual. But like maybe it's just about like repositioning ice to where it's like less good. Anyway, that's fine. That's an actual punish. We want to like, I'm gonna play quite aggressive to start with, I think, because I want to force them to res some ice, so that I know where I can move it around. Let's go archives. We'll draw once. We'll diesel. Oh yeah, we're dirty laundry archives for superb value. We run last click into. Probably something pretty nasty. I'm gonna go right. We've found our double security testings. Okay. Do we just go and get this, whatever it is? Like maybe it's an atlas, right? We can just nanook our way in. There's a chance that this is so what they might be doing. This could be a spin doctor. So if we go 1, run the spin doctor, 2, install the nanook into the depths, last click. It's a bit risky. But then if this does turn out to be a Stavka, because that's like maybe why they're making this play. This is a Stavka and they're planning, or an anvil, and they're planning on like trashing. So let's see if we can do this without like. Okay. We can trash 1 security testing, right? Kimberlite field, good to know. So I think we're probably putting the anvil on R&D. And then we'll just get some money. And then actually I am going to take out this Maryland campaign. Because I don't want them to extract it. It doesn't stack, no. But I placed them both down so that we could potentially put like pressure on lots and lots of their servers. As it turned out, it was quite a nice thing to sell to an anvil. Let's see if we can draw into a dirty laundry. Nope. Nope. We'll run archives for 2 credits. We can play a little bit slower. Like, the only problem with security testing is like it's a click for 2. Like, really, we're using it here as tech, but I also don't want to run out of money too soon. Okay, we go and check that. Let's go archives. Well, this is going to be a trap. It's not a trap. I don't think we want to swap any ice. They get a free archer. That's good to consider. I think we'll draw. We'll gamble and we'll run archives for money so we don't get punitived. We could possibly just set up. Oh, we could deep dive next turn. So we can into the depths through this anvil. Pulling a nanook. Go HQ with the nanook. Yeah, I think. Like, this is assuming the deep dive like hits, but like I feel like decent enough about this, so we're gonna go for it. We're gonna go R&D. We'll trash the stone ship. Maybe risky here. We'll install a nanook. We see a retribution. We'll go HQ. We'll break the Enigma. We see an anvil. We'll go archives. Get some money. Just check if they want to do anything. Hopefully we don't die to dragon next turn. Oh, there's lots of one pointers in there. We don't have our extra click. Okay. Tau. Do we want to move this archer? I'm not sure if we do. Always a chance that we just like die here to something nasty. We still don't want to move stuff. Okay. Don't have much of a I think we can risk going here. This might be a bit of a risk, actually. Like, they could extract. So this is where, like, if this is an anvil, then we actually have to play around that. Because if we click the nuker, and then we don't have anything else to trash, then it gets pretty nasty. But we're going to click nuker anyway. Okay, that's a good thing to, like, potentially trash. But we'll do that next turn. Mayfly might have been better there. Mayfly probably would have been better there. I mean, in that situation, yeah, Mayfly would have been better. But Mayfly makes us very much a one-hit pony, as in we have some of the plays which we can make with Nanook. Have we used all our Into the Depths yet? No. Let's draw. Okay, so the risk here. I don't think we need to do this because if we don't actually need to play the synthgland because deep diving. Okay, so the one thing about playing the synthgland means that we could put down an Nanook and then make our free runs. We only have one, like, we don't have to do a 2-click deep dive anymore. Oh, I was meant to run archives that turn. That was a mistake. I definitely should have run archives. I don't really want to lose the propeller. I don't mind losing the sure gambles. It's whether it's worth it. Hey, Quilana, you are late to a stream today. I'll let you off. Don't worry. Right, now we can put some pressure on because they are potentially overextending. So I'm going to run here because I think that this on archives is an anvil. Smashed it. Let's see what they want to do here. Interesting. Did they trash something? Okay. They trashed a spin doctor. So what's in server 2? This like must be a agenda, right? Or it's a Zato grid. Do we care about Zato grid now? So I think we go through this now because we don't have any programs to trash. I might just draw once in case we get a into the depths. We don't. That's fine. We'll do those two. Those ones can fire. We'll trash the Zeta grid and then we'll pop that down. So the anvils could become problematic soon. I think we just want to draw for a deep dive. We've got a Katorga as well in here, right? I think we put one in. Just playing the extract for the money. So they, I mean, not even trashing this Enigma is interesting, but I guess they know they're not going to have any 2-cost dice. Let's draw once. I think we can probably go gamble, Nanook, run HQ last click, like do the old what's the worst that can happen type thing. Smashed it. Nanook took it. Enigma is the Stavka target. Yes, okay, fair. Yes, we are playing startup. That's probably going to have been our last game, but just to quickly recap. So we basically were playing synthgland kit deck, which was fun, but is terrible against the majority of the current startup corp meta. Like, you don't want to install Basilisk Synthgland against PE, Fool, R+, or Built to Last, or NEH. Like, that's like all the good ones, basically. And then someone suggested that we're not actually using our kit ability that much because, you know, we've got a boat. So we thought we'd try this. Actually, this was really fun. I enjoyed this. Maybe I'll play this a bit more this week and see how it feels because I haven't given Nanook a proper chance yet since it came out. To me, it always seemed like a pot card, but like obviously that's not going to happen in startup. But this is like quite a fun. Like I like it's quite a fun influence spread. Like it's a bit left field, while still being slightly safe against some things. And we get to play 3 copies of our synthgland friend. But yeah, I think that's it for tonight. Hopefully, like the sound's better apart from anything. Like, yeah, maybe we'll play with Nano, but I need to do some corp stuff next week. I think I've played a lot of Rhino recently. One shout out before I go, which just to bring this up on screen. If there's UK people around this Saturday in Reading, there's a circuit opener. It's being run by Extra Chris, who is UK champion. Lots of very noble attendees like Rotage. I think Nick from our local meta might be going, and you know Swifty will be there as well. So, but yeah, if you're sort of south-ish Bristol based, not South Bristol, sorry, South UK based, or even a bit further afield, then maybe see if you can head on over. I unfortunately have my parents over, so I can't make this one. Otherwise, I would have headed across myself. But yeah, I think that's it for tonight. It's been a fun one actually. Like I was expecting to lose a lot more games, so that worked out pretty well. Thanks everyone for hanging out in chat, and I will see you next week.